I'm Tanishka from Newslaundry, and today we have with us journalist Ruben Banerjee, whose third book, Editor Missing, The Media in Today's India, was recently published. Ruben has worked as a reporter and editor in various news organizations in India Today, Indian Express, Hindustan Times, and he even spent more than a decade in Doha with Al Jazeera. His most recent stint was with Outlook magazine as the editor-in-chief and the group editor of the magazines.
What you didn't mention in my introduction to the viewers is that I was dismissed, sacked. I'm a sacked editor. The problem started sometime in August, and I was summarily dismissed in September last year. And so obviously, I had nothing else to do. I had no job, and so I decided that I must write a book because I think it wasn't more than my personal individual job. I think there were larger issues at play.
In times like this, do you think focusing on both sides journalism can also in a way legitimize hate?
I'm a great believer in both sides, all sides journalism. But I have a thumb rule. Okay. One is every shade of opinion is okay with me, whether I agree or I don't agree, as long as these opinions are not open incitement to violence or brazenly abusive. So if you, and these two thumb rules have served me well, and if you apply them even in your newsroom, so it filters out all those hate speeches and all that.
Also, there's this now that a lot of things are shifting online. There's a digital first strategy that print and TV organizations also follow. And of course, digital media is blooming. There's this unset pressure, I think, for journalists that they have to market themselves and brand themselves, you know. What do you think about this?
Even I'm on Twitter, right? I'm not a Twitter star, but even I have been forced to be on Twitter.
Yeah.
Because I want my, if I'm doing good content, good stories, I'm bringing out great issues, or I'm writing a good column, I want my column to be read. Now, what is the way I can, where will people discover my good work? They will have to come onto social media, and for that, I'll have to be on that media. So I understand the value of social media, but then at the same time, I wouldn't like to be like those celebrity kind of people that we have, they are on the social media just for the sake of it, but they haven't themselves done anything worthwhile. See, I think the core of journalism, we should not lose sight of the core, what essentially lies at the very heart of journalism. Good, honest, objective, fair, balanced, both sides journalism. Do that, and that is what you should be protecting and working on tirelessly.
Yeah.
And then this social media, Twitter, Instagram, these are all the frills, the icing on the cake.
Speaking of social media, what do you think about the relevance of magazines in India right now?
To be honestly, yes, people's reading habits are changing. Like say my daughter, she doesn't take a physical newspaper or a magazine. She would prefer to read it on her tablet or mobile. So readership habits are changing. People are getting more and more impatient. People have less time. In fact, reading habits have changed in this country. People are reading less. People are reading only social media posts, tweets and Insta. But even within that, I think magazines kind of went out of fashion for a while because the magazines were really not worthwhile. In magazine, ideation is something very, very critical. Like you'll have to be very quirky, you have to be different, you have to be smart. Journalists India in present context, they sound so self-righteous. Like whatever a journalist is saying, that's the ultimate truth.
Yeah.
I can only hold my head in grief. I'm very old school. So I don't believe in all that. Why should I? That is where it comes from. Like when a junior most reporter of mine in Outlook disagreed with my editorial decision, I allowed him to write and criticize me in my platform.
Similar topic since we're on, I want to ask you this relationship between journalists having this streak of idealism. Is it true? Does every journalist have this idealism, and would we be better without it, or would we not be able to really function with it?
Idealism should be fine, because without passion, there can be no professional excellence. You have to have passion. Like
But does
even
it
I,
also stop you
yeah,
in a
but then at the same time, you should be intelligent enough and not be self-righteous or kind of so arrogant that
Right.
whatever your ideals are, that's the ideal, and rest of the people, it doesn't matter. No, it can't be.
मुफत खोरो मुफ्त में इतना ही मिलेगा. To watch the full unedited interview, you have to subscribe to News Laundry and pay to keep news free. Because when the public pays, the public is served. We depend on you and not on advertisers. So go to www.newslaundry.com/subscription and subscribe and get all our unedited interviews, our special video shows, comics, and everything that's behind the paywall. Remember, to subscribe to News Laundry, you pay just about 10 rupees a day. That's less than, well, no, a cigarette. And smoking is injurious to health. So subscribe and watch the full interview.